Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq has confirmed that India attacked two important air bases in the country, Noor Khan Airbase in Rawalpindi and Shaukat Airbase during Operation Sindoor. Pakistan has admitted that Indian BrahMos missiles struck Rawalpindi Airbase. Speaking on Geo News, Dar revealed that the attack occurred just as Pakistan was preparing to strike back, which meant India acted faster and caught them off guard. Geeta Mohan is getting in more details on that big story. Geeta, this is a big admission given that Pakistan all this while has been claiming victory in the escalation that we had seen weeks ago. Essentially, this is admission that the BrahMos missile did hit the Rawalpindi Air Base.
Well, that's right. Not the first time, but certainly coming from none other than the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, admitting that, yes, Noor Khan Airbase was indeed impacted by the missile attack by India, and that it did strike the Rawalpindi airport. This after pictures Neha were put on how Shahbaz Sharif is using the same Noor Khan Airbase, and that it remained unaffected, and that there has been no destruction to the airbase. Now the Deputy Prime Minister coming out and admitting that the attacks that occurred did impact Pakistan's airbase, the Rawalpindi airport, the one that is used by VIPs and all the important dignitaries in Pakistan.
This also comes at a time when there's been so much back and forth. India has been saying that we hit them at home. The Noor Khan base was also damaged significantly. Denials after denials. In that sense, yet another embarrassment, Geeta, here for Pakistan, isn't it?
Well, in many ways, in one, the fact that the attacks that took place by or were carried out by India were quite precise and hit targets wherever India intended the missiles to hit. Whether it is the first day of Operation Sindoor, which was meant for only terrorist infrastructure and terror camps, or for that matter, the retaliation thereafter to the attacks that were carried out by Pakistan, where India went ahead and flattened or plastered some of the air bases of Pakistan. And despite all the denials, somewhere down the line, you've heard most of the top leadership of Pakistan admitting to the impact these missile attacks have had on their air bases. They are not absolutely clear on what narrative they should be carrying. On the one hand, play victim, say they were impacted. On the other hand, declare victory, saying that they weren't impacted.
All right, you know, it's duplicity in that sense, isn't it? I'll just come back to you in a moment from now. Listening once again to Ishaq admitting that indeed the Noor Khan Airbase was hit by India. He was speaking, in fact, to Geo News channel. Let's take a listen.
प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने ऑथराइज किया आर्म फोर्सेस को डिटेल तय हो गई कि हमने क्या रोल आउट करना है और वो हमने 4 बजे के बाद शुरू किया ये उनकी फिर एक बदकिस्मती मैं कहूँगा इंडिया की कि उन्होंने 2:30 बजे फिर वही हरकत कर दी कि जी नूर खान एयरबेस पे शोरकोट एयरबेस पे 2 एयरपोर्ट्स पे उन्होंने फिर अटैक किए उसी रात को 6 और 7 की दरमियानी रात को.
Of Operation Sindoor damage there, none other by the deputy prime minister, in fact, rather talking about how there was damage and that India hit Pakistan hard. Geeta Mohan continues to be with us. Geeta, how do you look at the Indian government, our authorities, those behind organizing Operation Sindoor, looking at this significant statement that has been made, especially given that Pakistan has been claiming victory and an upper hand?
Well, the fact that the Indian administration has maintained and has not differed from the initial statements that were made by India, that the strikes were carried out on day 1 of Operation Sindoor, following which retaliatory attacks were carried out on air bases in Pakistan, as a warning to Pakistan that should they continue hitting India, they will get an appropriate response from India, if not harder. And that is what has been maintained, that the strikes were precise. The Indian side exactly said the places they hit on day 1. They spelled out exactly the air bases that were hit as a retaliatory strike and India continues to maintain that. So while Pakistan has changed its statements to cater to audiences, whether it is the West or for that matter domestic audience, the narrative keeps changing. India's narrative or India's position has not changed on what it did from day one. And therefore, the statement that has been made by, or the response to Hamid Mir in an interview, Ishaq Dar accepting and admitting to the fact that yes, the air bases were hit and that they did feel the impact of the BrahMos.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that, Geeta Mohan, getting in those details. So what do they really want to do? Play victim and say that we were hit, or otherwise say that, in fact, we were unaffected? These are two kinds of statements that have been coming in from the leadership here. The latest one has got to do with Pakistan's big admission that there indeed was damage and that India did hit them hard.